Oh.
David Robinson is here.
I was like, well, I'm so honored to be here with the whole business. Like, okay.
How are you?
How are you?
My pleasure. No, it's great to be here. Thanks for allowing me to come in.
You're here because your son plays for Duke. You got the chance to watch him this week?
Man, fantastic. You know, Duke is a great program, and they didn't play as well as we had hoped this week, but the ACC tournament was amazing. Barclays was amazing. So we've had a good time here.
Good stuff. All right, let's talk about the current Spurs. Star Kawhi Leonard. A few weeks ago, Coach Greg Popovich said he would be surprised if Kawhi returned this season, but reports are Kawhi could return as soon as this Thursday. The Spurs are currently in 7th in the Western Conference, but only 3 games out of the 3 seed. David, how much does Kawhi's return impact this team?
Wow, it could change everything. I think our young guys have done a great job coming in, trying to shore up the holes. I mean, for us to have the record we have, given Kawhi's been out, Powell's been out, Tony's been out, everybody's been out for a while, we've positioned ourselves where we could make a run. And with Kawhi, I think we could be pretty effective because LaMarcus is having a great year.
Did you think last year they could have beaten the Warriors? Halftime of game 1, were you thinking they could beat the Warriors?
I mean, we always think we can win. I mean, we would have had a fighting chance. I think our team is so disciplined, and I mean that first game was a great sign. So the injury, yeah, you never know, right? So a little bit disappointed, but injuries are part of the game, and you have to go with them. So the Warriors have been fantastic, and yeah, I don't know if we would have beat them, but certainly we're on track to play well.
Right. We don't know. We don't know a Kawhi what he's going to be like when he comes back.
Right.
But Aldridge playing at the level he's playing at now compared to last season. But this offseason, he asked for a trade. We don't even hear that coming out of San Antonio with the organization. And now we've heard these rumors of Kawhi. This is a different time in San Antonio. Can you give us a little insight? Because you have been there for so long and been part of the organization. Nothing like watching the Spurs on NBA Pass and seeing David Robinson sitting right there, admiring the play. So now, are you concerned about the future of Kawhi and this team if he's able to come back this season and make that type of impact?
I'm concerned about this season. Absolutely. You know, it's all about chemistry. It's all about putting it all together and being tough when the time is most tough, which playoff time. So I'm concerned about this season. Now, ongoing, it still is a great culture. I think we've been lacking a little bit of leadership these last couple of years. I mean, you don't lose a Tim Duncan and all of a sudden not feel a vacuum. I mean, Tim is one of the best of all time. So, yeah, LaMarcus has to step up. You know, Kawhi has to step up. You're talking about Kawhi's the quietest guy I think I've ever been around. And you know, if you're the leader, you got to actually say something.
Within the concept of
and
the team
Aldridge is quiet.
Yeah, and then both of them are a little bit, they're focused.
So how does San Antonio go from, okay, now, the Admiral, okay, one of the greatest leaders in the history of sports, I've been knowing you for so long, to Tim Duncan, the best power forward of all time, and a great leader that people don't talk about, to this team that we have now. That's a tough transition.
Well, it is tough. I mean, we still got the talent. I think we still have the system. Pop is still fantastic. I think he's done one of his best coaching jobs this year. But you do need that leadership. You do need that one guy who's getting everybody else fired up every single night and who carries the load. And, you know, that's been tough. And so I mean, it's a transition. It's like every franchise has to figure it out, right? You have to figure out where's your leadership coming from. You know, how are you going to get over the hump? And Golden State's big hump.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So how are we going to get over that hump? So we got to figure that out.
One more Kawhi and Spurs question before we go bigger picture. I remember the year after you guys won your first championship. So the year after the strike-shortened season, you guys are the defending champs. Late in that season, Tim Duncan hurts his knee. Right? I mean, he played 70-some games. You guys are the defending champs. The Lakers dynasty hadn't started yet. It was about to, but we didn't know how good they were going to be. They'd been swept in the playoffs, I believe, the year before. And Greg Popovich and the Spurs staff as a whole decide he's having the surgery. I don't know if Duncan wanted to or not. I remember media reports at the time were wondering, you're going to punt on the season. And Greg Popovich said, I'm not worried about winning one more title with Tim Duncan. We're worried about his career winning multiple titles. I say that to say this. Greg Popovich and the Spurs have always been cautious with injuries. They've always put the players' long-term health first. So knowing that and experiencing that, When you see Kawhi seemingly doubting the Spurs medical staff, going out of the organization for a second opinion, the medical staff clearing him, and him not clearing himself, what did that tell you? How surprised were you by that, and what does it tell you about where they're at?
Not overly surprised. I mean, I went and got a second opinion when I had challenges, so I don't blame him for doing that and being a little bit cautious. But you're right. We have a history of protecting players. So, it would be nice to see the little bit more trust there with the staff and with Pop. But at the same time, he's a valuable commodity, and he's got to protect his future. And so yeah, I mean, it's a challenge. And Pop's going to be on the conservative side. He's going to look after Kawhi. And if Kawhi needs to find out what's going on, hey, more power to you, because we want him for the long term. We want that value for what our franchise is.
Now, David, being one of the great big men that we've ever seen in the association, there's a lot of people who don't like watching the NBA because of the up and down in the three. But you have to be a guy that loves the emergence of the big man, how the big man has come back. It's kind of like the running back in the NFL.
Yeah.
Now they are featured again. Their skill level.
Yeah.
You know, they're just not spot-up fives, but the post game of Joel Embiid, the Brow, Cat in Minnesota. Who are some of your favorite players, and how does it feel for you to see these guys be able to get the type of attention, have the game that warrants that?
No, you're right. I love it. I love when the big guys play a bigger role. And I think it's all cyclical, right? Everybody wants to be Steph Curry for a little while or James Harden, but you know, the money's made down there in the paint, right? Like, big guys, if you can go down there and do work, you're going to have a long career. And so, yeah, I love, you named all guys. Anthony Davis is amazing. And, if he can just stay healthy, he's fantastic. And, I mean, shoot, Karl Anthony Towns, fantastic. All these guys, these young guys are bringing this game back, and I think it's fantastic. But you gotta find the guys out there, the young guys that want to actually come down there and get in the post and do the dirty work and get the rebounds.
DeAndre Ayton, there's some good big guys.
There are some really good college big guys coming in, so we're excited. And I mean, we're fighting for a big playoff spot. But shoot, some of these young kids coming up might be really interesting guys.
But there are teams that are thriving without the big man in the lineup. Like we see some of the best teams right now don't have a big man, and the game has sort of transitioned away from actually needing one. How do you feel like you would fare in today's game?
Oh, I would have a blast. I know.
With all the three-point shooters?
With all the rebounds out there, we're running up and down the court. This would have been my type of game. I would have loved playing with these guys now because, just cleaning up the boards, I'd average 25 games just cleaning up. But no, it'd be...
No, hold on.
Well, I don't think people understand.
Exactly right.
That was my game. I like to run the floor.
They could run like a deer.
I like to get up and down, and I love the fast-paced game. That really it suited my style. And these games now are high-scoring games. They're fast-paced games. You get a lot of opportunities, and that worked well for me. Now, some guys like a Patrick Ewing, you come down, you put it in it's a slower game. Like he really was suited for that slower game. But someone like me, I want the ball to move up and down. I love those shots. I'm going to get the glass. So that would have been fun.
And of your pre-Dirk Nowitzki, the three best shooting 7-footers ever were guys, you and two guys you played with, Hakeem Olajuwon and Patrick Ewing. You guys didn't stretch out the 3-point line because that wasn't the game.
No, we didn't go out
but the 14, 16-footer, you guys made a living with that. Here's the thing. When people talk about comparing eras, they're like, oh, how would some of these older teams do in today's game? The flip side question has to be asked. Like, as great as Golden State is right now, who on Golden State can check you? Like, you know what I mean? What does Draymond Green go when they go small and have the Draymond Green lineup? If you're out there, or Dream's out there, or Prime Shaq's out there, or even Patrick Ewing's out there, like, what would that force the adjustment for Golden State? Because
we always love send a 6'9" guy to guard me. Are you kidding me? That's our dream. That would have been fantastic. But now in this game, it works. It works because there's not the guys that are featured. And there are some good young big guys. I mean, Houston's not devoid of big guys. They've got some presence in there, which is nice. There are teams, but they're just not featured in the same way. And so, I think it would have been an interesting thing. You look at Virginia in college. They win by defense. They make stops.
Yes.
And if that changes your whole mentality, when you know you're going to stop them, it doesn't put so much pressure on you to score every single time. So I think our style would have worked well in this game.
Yeah, we know you're here for the ACC tournament. Watch your son, and also here for our show. What else are you here in New York? I know you're associated with a couple products and everything.
Yeah, well, I partnered with Dove Men's Plus Care, and we're doing something just to kind of show the fans kind of appreciation for being our support, right? right? So we're doing a nice ad campaign just saying, hey, look, we appreciate you fans. We love the relationship and what you give us. And so, you can go to Dove Men's Care Plus, DoveMen'sCare.com, and you can see the real men's manifesto, real strength manifesto, and it's fantastic about our relationship with the fans and how the fans have been a big plus for us throughout our career.
Dave, it's been an honor to have you on our show.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
really.
no, thank you.
Hey, can we get some Dove products?
Oh my God.
I need a manifesto for this dude.
Honestly.
Good. Yeah, you know what? It's a good thing.
Yeah.
We got to keep it going, Dave.
It's an honor.
Absolutely.
Much respect.
Good luck to your
Much
boys.
respect.
Thank you. Hey, coming up next is it time for the Cavs to push the panic button after 2 losses in LA this weekend. Next on First Things First.
Hey, Dove,
Cat and
send
Jack
us some
coming out
products.
here.
Send some products to this man.
We got my man.
I'm all into men's grooming and all that.
Cece.
My partner don't smell so good either. Give him some other stuff.
As far